Hello, everyone. Individuals in some cases think innovation just consequently gets better consistently, yet it really doesn't. It possibly improves, assuming shrewd individuals work like insane to improve it. That is the means by which any innovation really improves. Without anyone else, innovation, in the event that individuals don't chip away at it, will really decline. You can take a gander at the historical backdrop of civic establishments, numerous developments, and check out, say, Old Egypt. Is it safe to say that they were ready to assemble these amazing pyramids, and afterward they fundamentally failed to remember how to construct pyramids? You know, there's a great deal of conversation of this issue or that issue, and many individuals are miserable about the future and cynical. I think this isn't perfect. At the end of the day, we truly need to get up in the first part of the day and anticipate what's to come. We need to be amped up for what will occur. Life can't just be tied in with taking care of an endless series of hopeless issues. Indeed, I'm very amped up for the eventual fate of India. I think India has more commitment than any enormous country on the planet. The focus point from the gathering, action item from the gathering, he truly thinks often about India since he's pushing us to make huge interests in India, which is something that we expect to do. We're simply attempting to sort out the right timing. It was a fabulous gathering with the state leader, and I like him a considerable amount. He visited our Fremont plant quite a long while back, thus we've currently known one another for some time. I can say he truly believes that should make the best choice for India. He needs to be open, he needs to be strong with new organizations, and clearly, simultaneously, ensure it takes special care of India's benefit, which is, clearly his work. I'm saying I'm a devotee of Modi. In this way, no doubt, all things considered, I believe there's an enormous measure of potential for each of the three mainstays of the maintainable energy future. What draws me most about China's 5-year plan is the enormous obligation to a low-carbon economy and at last to a reasonable energy economy. In the 5-year plan, China is resolved to arrive at top fossil fuel byproducts sooner than 2030 and to have a reasonable energy economy by 2060. These are extremely forceful objectives, and I believe they're extraordinary objectives. I wish more nations really had these objectives. I'm extremely sure about Tesla's future in China. The Chinese economy, I think, will truly do very above and beyond the following 10 years and will turn into the greatest economy on the planet. It's likewise dedicated to a reasonable energy future, and Tesla is doing both of those things. In this way, we're building vehicles. I think, long haul, China will be our greatest market, both where we make the most vehicles and where we have the most clients. I might want to send out a hopeful vibe and say that I'm extremely sure that the future in China will be perfect and that China is going towards being the greatest economy on the planet and a ton of flourishing from here on out. This 5-year plan will be a piece of getting that flourishing going. No doubt, precisely. Thus, it took me some time to kind of understand this, that to address self-driving, you truly expected to sell certifiable computer-based intelligence. At the point in which you tackle true artificial intelligence for a vehicle, which is actually a robot on 4 wheels, you can then sum up that to a robot on legs too. The two BART aspects, I think, it's not self-evident. Organizations like Boston Elements have shown that it's feasible to make very convincing, once-in-a-while disturbing, robots. From a sensors and actuator outlook, it's surely been shown by numerous that making a humanoid robot is conceivable. The things that are right now missing are sufficient insight for the robot to explore this present reality and do helpful things without being expressly educated. In this way, the missing things are essentially true knowledge and increasing assembling. Those are two things that Tesla is generally excellent at. Thus, then, we essentially simply have to plan the particular actuators and necessary sensors for a humanoid robot. Individuals have no clue about this will be greater than the vehicle. One of the main ways is self-driving. In this way, we've been investing some parcel of energy into self-driving innovation for vehicles. You don't see it vary as much in Europe since we first need to make it work in quite a while before we increment the intricacy of attempting to make it somewhere else on the planet. Yet I believe we're very near having the vehicle be completely independent. Thus, for instance, the present moment I could be in Austin and to drive dependability level that we would consider that nobody needs to focus. Here is where we will arrive at a consolidated creation of 10,007 days among SX and 3 1 year from now. We'll extend the product offering with Model Y and Semi, and we hope to have the first working robotaxis 1 year from now. Nobody in them, not in all purviews, since we will not have administrative endorsement all over. In any case, I'm sure we'll have essentially administrative endorsement someplace in a real sense 1 year from now. Individuals ought to be hopeful about what's in store. Humankind will tackle maintainable energy. We'll work out assuming we keep on pushing hard. What's in store is splendid and great from an energy point of view. It will likewise be feasible to involve that energy for carbon sequestration. It takes a ton of energy to haul carbon out of the environment. Similarly, as investigate in the climate-delivered effort. Thus, clearly, to haul it out, you really want to utilize a great deal of energy. However, in the event that you have a ton of reasonable energy from wind and sun-powered, you can really sequester carbon. You can switch the CO2 parts per million in the climate and seas. Likewise, you can truly have as much new water as you need. Earth is for the most part water. We ought to call Earth water. It's 70% water by surface region. There are 3 components to a reasonable energy future. One is clearly manageable energy age, which is fundamentally wind and sun-based. There's likewise hydro, geothermal. I'm supportive of atomic. I think new is fine. Be that as it may, it's going basically sun-oriented and wind as the essential generators of energy. The subsequent part is you really want batteries to store the sun-based and wind energy on the grounds that the sun doesn't sparkle constantly and the breeze doesn't blow constantly. Thus, you really want a great deal of fixed battery packs. And afterward, you really want electric vehicles, electric planes, boats. At last, it's not exactly imaginable to make electric rockets, yet you can make the force utilized in rockets utilizing economical energy. You know, the car business has been living with 12 volts for quite a while, a really long period. Generally, I think it got going as 6 volts, and afterward they required an all the more remarkable starter engine, so they multiplied it to 12 volts in spite of the fact that it's more similar to the 13.7 volts. You're correct. Totally. What's more, the transport voltage really fluctuates a great deal for those. Since there are presumably a few electrical specialists in the crowd, it resembles 12 volts as an exceptionally unpleasant estimate, yet it's truly sort of an erratic low voltage. In the event that you see express control over Ethernet, it's running at 50 volts, or approximately 48 volts. We set it at 48 volts since anything truly over that, you begin to run into administrative worries. Control over Ethernet, similar to what I said, is generally at that level, yet the benefit of clearly quadrupling the voltage is that you can considerably lessen how much copper or transmitter is utilized in the vehicle. In this way, you can utilize tiny copper wires for, approximately a quarter. However, not precisely a quarter of the copper required for 48 volts with respect to 12. In this way, I believe it's a legitimate move. That is actually the subsequent stage for the low-voltage engineering for the vehicle. I think eventually long-haul vehicles, as I would rather not offer considerably more than whatever I've said freely. Then again, actually the Roadster will be a cooperation among SpaceX and Tesla. In this way, you could expect some rockety stuff there. A car with the capability to fly, perhaps. It's not feasible. Go on. No, I'd got to hold the cool stuff for when we really disclose it. Be that as it may, being truly cool is going. Having some rocket innovation in it is going. I think the best way to accomplish an option that could be cooler than the Cybertruck is to consolidate SpaceX and Tesla innovation to make something not even actually a vehicle. Then what might it be? Something never existed. A joint effort among SpaceX and Tesla. In this way, you can expect some rockety stuff there. A car capable of flying, perhaps. Having some rocket innovation in it is going. I think the best way to accomplish an option that could be cooler than the Cybertruck is to join SpaceX and Tesla innovation to make something not even actually a vehicle. There are, sir,